Hi everyone, something we're trying to anticipate, one of many things we're trying to anticipate in tennis trading is the change in momentum. In most tennis matches, the player that starts off strongest isn't necessarily going to be the strongest player for the whole match. And it varies as to how many momentum switches you get in a particular match. This match here is it's from Cincinnati, Begu against Tomljanovic. A match I wasn't really interested in. I do the analysis of all matches, so I decided that Tomljanovic was the stronger player on hard courts, but it was probably going to be close. I was monitoring all the prices, but I was waiting for another match to start. I wasn't really interested in this one. Tomljanovic broke at the start of the match and actually took a 4-0 lead. I then noticed that Begu had broken back, had broken once for 4-1 and then held serve, I think, pretty easily. The price was still around 1.23, 1.24 on Tomljanovic. I thought, well, it was worth a lay, speculative lay in case Begu's just started sluggishly and has suddenly woken up. By the time I got the market open and set the recording software up, the next game was just about to start. So if I set it going, I will speed it up when it's appropriate to do so. I think I've got that fast as it is. Okay, so it's a good start. See, we've matched at 124. Now what happens in this game is, despite Begu taking the first point, Tomljanovic gets to 40-15, and I think, well, let's say I wasn't interested in the match. I thought, well, it was a chance she'd break. Doesn't look like she's going to, so I get out at 40-15. She gets, Begu then gets the next point, so it's 40-30, and I think, well, maybe I was a little bit hasty, so I get back in. Start it going a little bit quicker. I don't see anywhere where it tells me how fast I'm playing it. So Tomljanovic at 40-15, I get out 117. You'll see Begu take the next point and I get back in. Still not interested, I'm doing other things, I'm answering emails. I'm waiting for, it was the Conte Sabalenka match I was waiting for. So back in at 1.2. A little bit more interested now, she's back to deuce. Still really expecting Tomljanovic to hold. Obviously more interested at break point. Let's speed that up a little bit. So it gets the break, so we're back on serve. Trading now around 137, 138. I think the SP was 1.5. So if she gets to 4-all, we're going to be at least 1.5. I'd expect it to be higher because it's 4 games in a row that she's won. Okay, we're into Begu's game. Like an easy hold. Okay, and we're back on serve. Trading around 156. Thought it might go a little bit higher and still might. I've just paused that. So it's probably a little bit greedy to expect Begu to get another break. However, she has just won 4 in a row. No reason why the momentum would shift back to Tomljanovic, but you never know. But because we've got in at a decent price, I just let it run. Another good start. What I'm thinking about at this point is removing some liability, but I want a higher price before I do. I was thinking there I should have taken 173. Let's see if we get a break point. Which we do, so I take some liability out. Which is done at 1.84. Another break point. Second serve. And we get the break. 5 games in a row. Now, just looking at the score itself, it looks like it's been a close set. It has, but when you look at it in terms of momentum, the momentum's definitely with Begu. It's at a pressure game, serving for the set, so this could be the time when Tomljanovic takes control again and gets the break, gets her back to 5-all. But let's see how we go. We're in a decent price. We're not risking anything. See how she does serving for it. Put the video on just to try and see if Begu looked nervous serving this out or attempting to serve this out. what I've done there is I was trying to lay Begu, and I actually did it. What I'm doing is trying to play with the green that I've got, so I don't want huge liability on it. And I'd switched at not a great price. I think I tried a little bit lower down, it was too slow, so I ended up getting matched at 208 on there. So you can see we've got all the green on Tomljanovic, small red on Begu. Thinking it's going to be a break back. So just pause that there. What I'd done before she served out was I checked the stats, the service stats for the set, and Begu's were pretty poor. She was holding, or she was winning about 35% of her service points, which is why I decided to get the lay in. A little bit slow getting the lay in, to be honest. But again, because you're playing with existing green, you're not risking huge liability. You're not getting in from a scratch position. Going well at love 30. I was thinking that I'd got the momentum change again. I think with only £16 liability, I was green down to about 1.2 on Begu's ladder. Looks like she's going to serve it out in the end. Which she does. 6 games in a row. What I do at that point is hedge. I think. Obviously at this point I'm checking the in-play stats. Do I drag it across? Bearing in mind my pre-match opinion was that Tomljanovic was going to win. I've got the profit on her at the moment. Pretty sure I was checking the stats on a different screen. I did at some point drag that onto this screen. I don't just remember exactly where. Okay, we'll just step it going. I slowed it, well, put it back on normal speed because I did start pissing about a little bit at this point. Tomljanovic to serve first. She's lost 6 in a row. Not hugely confident that she's going to win this service game, but often when with a new start, it changes the momentum just by the fact that it's a new set. Sorry, not a new stat. Okay, I thought I'd hedged at this point. Okay, she wins the first point, so no need to do anything. Both players were struggling to get first serves in this match. Maybe this is where I hedged. Or did I? Begu now goes to 1540. At this point, I'm thinking she's lost 6 in a row. She's about to lose 7, so I get out. And I think I then back. Just thinking Tomljanovic, her head's gone, her game's gone, whatever the problem is. So I back her there. That's the only time I've got anything in 3 figures liability wise. At this point, I'm checking. I'll just pause that. At this point, again, I'm checking the serve stats. For me to be backing her at this price, I need Begu to be serving well, and she's not. She's still winning around 35% of both first serve and second serve points. So what I'm looking to do, a good entry point if you're going to lay a leader, is when there are a set and a breakup. So I don't stay too long with this with this position. I think I was distracted here checking the stats. We put a lane there. With her 15 love. Again, using the green that we had, although it wasn't a great deal at that point. We've only got 16 liability. Her service stats were pretty poor. I'm sure I dragged it onto this screen so that it would record. Maybe not. Just increase the speed a little bit. Step through this. So she's got 1530. And 1540. Players do start to think about winning the match when they're a set and a break up. Not surprisingly, but they just get a little bit distracted. Okay, doesn't take the chances. Another break point. This is another one. I'm starting to think it's just not her day at this stage. Yet another one. And finally gets a break. Back on serve in the second. Tomljanovic's stats in the second set were okay on first serve. I think she was winning between 65 and 70%. She just wasn't getting the first serve in often enough. She hasn't held a service game for quite a while at this stage. Looking hopeful here. And she's up 2-1. Okay, at this stage, I've just shifted the position so that I've got, if Begu does come back and runs away with the set, I haven't completely wasted my time. But I've left the bigger green on Tomljanovic. Okay, let's step through the next game. Obviously, ideally we want another break. She is looking hopeful. 15-40. And does get it. Now then. Now Tomljanovic is obviously in the lead in this set. Is she now going to think about winning the set, and her mind could go forward to set 3 before she's got the job done in set 2? I'm trying to remember what I did. I would have thought I laid here. Because her stats weren't great. As I say, her first serve was okay when she got it in, but she just wasn't getting many in. Let's see what I did. I genuinely can't remember. And it was only last night. Gonna do nothing. Should have laid, you moron. The 40 should have laid, you moron. You're laying now. Got lucky, but that was fortunate. You can see there I've hedged evenly at 68, and because Begu's, still can't remember what I did, because Begu's stats remained poor on serve, I'm pretty sure I'm going to lay again here. Surely you're going to lay here, moron. There you go. There you go. So you're not completely clueless. There you go. I knew I'd drag the stats in at some point. And he couldn't see anything. And he couldn't see anything. Great. Well done. Well done, me. Okay, so back on court. Begu starts well. Just 32 liability. The only time that I've had 3-figure liability was in that one game in this set. And then realised it was a bit of a stupid thing to do because her service stats did not warrant being backed at a low price. Okay, 30 all, got a chance. Break point. And another break. What I do here is, because I wanted to go over to the other match, I hedged that one out. I'm pretty sure I did drag the... I remember closing the ladder down so that you could see the stats when I dragged them across. What actually happened in the rest of the match was... Oh, here come the stats. Here come the stats. There you go, 40% first serves won, and that was... Can't be bothered bringing it back on. And it was around 29% on second serve. What happened from that point on, I left the match there and I moved over to the Contour one. Begu basically fell apart. Tomljanovic won the second set, I believe, 6-3, and won the third set pretty easily. So that's some of the things you can look at. look at the in-play stats, look at the match situation, as in, are they serving for the set? Have they just broken serve? They can be vulnerable if they're, say, a set and a break ahead. They can be vulnerable because the mind starts to wander to the next match or the next set. Hopefully that was useful, and I will see you on the next one.